Hello, guys, and let's talk about lies. So, if you don't know me, which you probably don't, you know that I absolutely hate liars. Like, I don't hate anyone, but I just hate lying. I hold myself to high honesty standards the best I can. Not saying I have not lied, because I have, but in my current state, I sworn myself to honesty. And let me just say this. Lying in most cases is not needed. So many people lie for many different reasons, out of shame, in order to cover themselves, in order to cover other people, in order to make themselves seem better, in order to make other people seem better, or just because they don't feel like explaining anything. And lying these days has become way too common, way too accepted, and even a general part of politeness. Like, when someone asks how you're doing, what do you usually say? Usually say, I'm fine, I'm okay. Even if a bomb was dropped on your head on your way to seeing that person who asked you how you're doing, you'd still say, I'm fine, I'm good. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to say that, but what I am saying is that it's just so common to lie nowadays. And when you tell people you aren't fine, yeah, I had a horrible day, my dog died, my grandma caught polio or whatever, I don't know. And then the person would be like, a lot of people just aren't ready to hear anything but I'm fine. And nowadays, we've made it common to only tell people what they want to hear. A lot of people won't even tell you the truth when you ask them something. They'll just tell you what you want to hear. So you'd be like, does my outfit look good? They'll be, yeah, it looks good, just because they think that's what you want to hear, even if they think it looks like absolute trash. And I'm not saying that you should just be mean and rude and like extremely blunt, but a little bit bluntness is not that bad, honestly, compared to constantly lying. And sometimes you can just see through people's lies. Like, some people just lie for no reason. Like, I asked this one guy who I obviously see it in the game because I'm in the damn band, if he's on the football team. And this boy comes and tells me, no, I'm not on the football team. I'm on the JV team. Like, what was the purpose of lying? You know I saw you on the football team. It's not even a big deal. It's not anything to be ashamed of. So why are you lying? Some people just literally lie for no good reason. And even in situations like where you're like, oh, I gotta really protect this person, you don't have to lie. There's a few things you can say. You can say, I don't feel very comfortable talking about that. Or you can say something that's like not a lie. Like, someone asks where you've been. And you've been at the club, but you just went to the grocery store afterwards. Instead of giving a complete account, first I went to the bathroom, then I went to my kitchen, then I went to get my keys, then I went to my car, then I went to the club, then I went to the grocery store. You can just say, oh, I went to the grocery store. Wouldn't be a lie, and you don't have to tell them anything embarrassing about yourself. And also, lying is not good for you either. Like, you might just tell a simple lie, but when you tell a lie, people find out you're lying, people are not going to believe you. Just like the boy who cried wolf. If you make lying such a normal and accepted thing in your life, eventually people are not going to believe you even when you're telling the truth. Like, I'm a very honest person because I have lied in the past. Some people just can't accept that I'm telling the truth when I am. And when you have a history of lying, it's very hard to prove that you're actually telling the truth. So, in every situation, there's actually no reason to lie. You can always do something else instead of lying. And a lot of people like to add a bunch of other things to lying. Like some people would say, if you stay silent, it's a lie. If you say something that's true but could be construed as misleading, you're lying. No, lying is telling someone something with the intent of deceiving them. And that's the true definition. And like, I just wish people could be a lot more honest. Like, a lot of people just, instead of saying what they'd actually like to say, just affirm other people's beliefs, affirm other people's truths. And they feel afraid to have their own opinion. Like, you're free to have your own opinion. That's allowed. You don't have to feel ashamed of stuff. And a lot of the time, people know you're lying because it's pretty obvious. And there's less consequences for people who do not lie and just come clean and say, yeah, I did this. And lying to protect your friends who did things that they're not supposed to be doing, not good either. Like, if your friend did something they're not supposed to be doing, is it your fault if they get in trouble? No, they weren't supposed to be doing that. I feel like they should face the consequences of their actions. All right? Listen, there's always a way to get around lying. And lying never helps anyone, especially people who lie in important settings. Like, a lot of people like to lie to doctors, to lawyers about stuff. And when you're lying to people who are just there to help you, you are not helping yourself. You are not helping them. You are making their job harder. You are making your situation harder. Like, people who would lie to their doctors just because they're ashamed of their doctors judging them. Like, bro, doctors have heard and seen so many things that I don't really think that they care. They're going to be disgusted that it's going to change anything about your relationship with them if you tell them that you have a hemorrhoid or that your boob hurts or something. Like, bro, that's what they're there for. Too many people just, like, make dishonesty, like, a way of life, and I absolutely hate it. I hate people who are lying. I hate people who are keeping secrets. Like, nah. Just be honest and upfront. And even if you feel the need to say something negative, like someone asks you how they look absolutely horrid. Some people would just say, oh, you look awesome, and leave it at that. But if someone asked you, you should just straight up tell them. There are ways to say things in nicer ways that don't involve a lie. Like, your friend is going out. She says, how do I look? She's wearing a very ugly looking outfit. You can be like to her, then that's when you can do something like give her a suggestion. Like, I don't know about that outfit. Something looks really off about it. I really think that you should find a better looking outfit. Like maybe that blue top that you wore the first time we met. Like, there are ways to tell the truth without just being and sounding super mean. And if a person is upset at honesty, is that your fault? No, that's not your fault that a person cannot handle hearing the truth. Because the truth is the truth. And it's never your fault. You're never rude for telling the truth. I don't know why some people say, oh, you say something and it's not what I believe in, so you're instantly a horrible person. No, that's not true. First of all, everyone's entitled to their own opinions and feelings about literally every topic in the world. Doesn't matter if it has to do with you or not. You're entitled to your own feelings and opinions about it. It's how you express them that is where it comes in. And you don't have to lie. You just need to find better ways of expressing how you feel. Like, instead of expressing something with a bunch of mean, negative, discouraging language, you can instead say it with some nicer language. Like, if you saw a person make a mistake, like, I'm not a person who believes in just like staying quiet when you see something wrong. No, you should say something. So when a person makes a mistake, something I like to do is I like to ask them, is it supposed to look like that? Because I don't like to assume that I know everything, because I don't. Is it supposed to look like that? Are you sure that it isn't XYZ? Instead of being like, oh, you're wrong, it's supposed to be XYZ. Are you stupid? No. You can be truthful, you can be honest without just being plain rude. And people need to realize that. Politeness doesn't mean lying your ass off in front of everyone. Politeness doesn't mean saying I'm fine when you really don't feel fine. Of course, like, if you're in a setting with people that you don't know very well, you don't really have to go into specifics about everything that's going on. But if you're not feeling fine, you could be like, oh, I'm doing reasonable. Oh, it could be better. Completely acceptable response does not involve lying about your situation at all. But if you're with a person who's closer to you, like maybe your friend, you could be like, nah, I don't really feel the best. XYZ happens. And it's okay to tell the truth. You don't have to be ashamed of whatever's going on with you. Too many people are ashamed, and telling lies just makes it harder for you, makes it harder for other people to trust you. And trust me, when people lie to me, I don't like it. I don't care what it is. If you do not want to hang out with me, you're free to say it. You do not have to lie and say that you're busy, because the thing is, when a person tells me the stone cold truth, we should start just going blunt in with honesty. Because when a person tells me the stone cold truth, does not hold anything back, does not try to phrase it into a more polite way, it's honestly refreshing. Like, one day I walked into class, there's this kid, I'm going to call him Z, and he was like, your hair is not it. Now, a lot of people would be so upset, and they'd be like, you can't talk to me like that. My hair is awesome. It's on fleek, XYZ. But instead, I was like, I looked at myself in the mirror like, yeah, he's honestly right. I don't know why I walked out here with this, because this style was honestly not good. And it's a breath of fresh air to just hear people who just say the blunt truth. They don't care how you feel about it. They'll just say it. They'll just say how they'll feel. They just will say whatever, and they're not worried about whether you're going to enjoy it or not. So, and it's very helpful when you tell the truth to people, because then people just know what they need to know. Like, if I heard a person just say straight up, I don't like you, I don't want to hang out with you, then that's my cue to move on instead of be butthurt about it. But when a person continuously tells me that they're busy when they really just don't want to hang out with me, then that sends the message to me that I should keep trying. And I'm keep trying on a person who has no intent on doing anything with me. So, going forward, just tell the truth. Don't worry about how blunt it is. Don't think too much about it. If you see something and you'd like to say something, say it. Don't worry about how anyone will feel about it. Of course, be conscientious. Be aware of what you're saying. Sometimes just don't say stuff, but also speak your mind more. Don't be afraid to have unpopular opinions. Don't be afraid to not feel the same way that you think the person you're talking to feels. And you're good. Bye. 15 minutes with Mars and out.